Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
Welcome to Spiritually Speaking, the talk show for spiritual wellness with the goal to bring about personal peace, love, and joy through spiritual education. It aims to raise the consciousness and vibrations of those who seek to live a fulfilled life through acceptance and non-judgment of all religions, beliefs, and practices that are positively based in God's love and light. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. This is Dee Dee Lovejoy, the host of Spiritually Speaking and the owner of Quintessence Aromatherapy and Crystal Healing. It's good to be back in the studio today. I've been out for a couple of weeks and teaching. I had Anna Oliver sitting in for me last week, and she will be back next week on the 24th to sit in for me again while I'm teaching. Today, I'm excited to be in the studio because I have my dear friend Kim Linder here of the Caregiver Hour, and we're going to be talking to her a little later in the show about what she does for caregivers. We're going to be talking about what beautiful show and the symposiums that she has planned, and also really exciting, the Creating Your Own Abundance for Caregivers workshop that I've been talking about, and you guys have been getting those email blasts from me. So we're going to be talking about that. So I do want to say welcome, Kim, to the show.
Thank you so much, Dee Dee, for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
And Kim's a pro, too, because she has her own talk radio show on Clear Channel. So it's an honor to have you here with me today. Today, I have a few housekeeping things. I'm going to tell you guys about some classes and workshops and things that I have coming up so you can tap into those. Thank you to everybody who came out to my last few classes. I had a Reiki 1 class. We had 5 students there. So in the last month, there's at least 10 new Reiki practitioners in the Tampa Bay area. Congratulations to you all. And last night there was a great pendulum class, so people learned to tap into that divination tool and all the things that you can learn from that. So keep practicing out there, guys. And if you have any problems or questions about Reiki or about the spiritual Spirit Guides class too. So there was 3 classes that was going on. I've been doing a lot of teaching.
Yes, you have been. And I went to the spiritual guide class and I loved it.
You sure did. And I think there's some things that we still got to, I think you missed the totem animal part of it.
Yes.
And so we still have to do that because that's really important. But I did another one last Wednesday out in Lutz. Mm-hmm. So we had some students out there. But what we have coming up now is every Thursday, you guys know that we do the Reiki, we do the intuitive development and the meditation class. But on the third Thursdays, we do the Reiki healing. So did I miss the third Thursday? I think that was Valentine's Day.
I think you did.
Okay. So we're gonna
You've been busy.
Been busy. So we're going to move those over. We're going to move this week coming up, this Thursday coming up. We're going to do some Reiki healing that day and spiritual healing that day. We're still going to do our usual meditation, but for those who wanted to do the healing and learn some of the Reiki techniques, we're going to do that too. I want to remind you guys if you want to call in and talk to me or Kim today, the number is 813-639-TALK. That's 813-639-8255. Let's see, another show, another class. I got show on the mind. I think I do.
Dee, I didn't know if you knew that I'm also a Reiki master.
I did know that.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Okay, because I was like, maybe I want to go to your class, kind of meet other people.
It would be great to have you there, other Reiki masters there, because what we do is it's a share.
Okay.
Basically, it's a share, and so other Reiki practitioners around you come in and you give some and you take some. So you give some of your knowledge, whatever you learned, because we know a lot of us have been Reiki masters for a long time, or practitioners for a while, and we've learned under different masters and
Yes.
teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I use crystals with mine, and I use some shamanic practices with my Reiki and I use the biomat with my Reiki. So that's something that I
Okay.
add.
All right.
And I'm sure that you have some techniques and tips that you can bring as well.
Yes. So that would be really neat. So I do definitely want to put that on my calendar.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So and also on the third Sundays of every month, there is a Reiki share over at Mystical Sense too, and I do that one as well. So Reiki 2's coming up on February 23rd. That's going to be here at Quintessence at 114 North Del Mabry. The time is 10 to 4. And if you'd like to register for that class, the number is 813-367-7385. And the class fee is $150. It includes your Reiki manual. If you already have the manuals that I teach from, then you will get a poster or a Reiki CD instead of the manual. They're great tools to have as a Reiki practitioner, especially if you want to become a Reiki master. Having the poster with the, to help you teach, and also the meditations. You guys know that I do the meta specific Reiki meditation to help seal the Reiki process, or to seal the attunement at the end of the class. So you will get that at your Reiki 2 attunement. And also Reiki 3, if you're interested in that class is coming up on April 20th from 12 to 6. It's April 20th and the 21st. It's on a Saturday and a Sunday. I believe I have those days right. The fee for that is $200, and that one's going to be taught at Mystical Sense. So more information for that to come. And I will talk briefly about the workshop. It's called Creating Your Own Abundance. And guys, even if you're not a caregiver, you can still come to this class. Mm-hmm. You can still come to these workshops. Get the word out for us to anyone who needs a break from the caregiving, and who wants to learn how to create spiritual abundance in their life. And Kim is like the expert on caregiving. This is her wheelhouse, so she's going to talk a lot more about that. But those dates it's every Friday from March 1st through the end of the month. So just stay tuned for more of that, and then we're going to have more of Kim.
Sounds
Okay?
great.
Sounds
Mm-hmm.
great. Okay, so what I wanted to do today, guys, is tell you guys about some of the some crystal magics. And you guys know that I love crystals as much as I love, working with energy. Crystals, these are my children. I brought some. Kim brought some of hers.
Yeah, I did.
She brought some big mamas in today.
I did.
What you got today?
I don't, these are just, they talk to me, and I use them and hold them to help me with grounding and clarity. Mm-hmm. So I did.
She's
bring
got a
them with.
rose quartz and a crystal. They're both points, a rose quartz point and
and when I took the guide class, I also picked up the rose. So that this must be a real good, this must really speak to me. I pick up the rose all the time. But I see you also have the clear, and I don't know. I just love crystals as well. And I have them in different places in my home. And then I take them with me. So I guess they're like children, like you said. I like how you phrased that. Mm-hmm.
I wear mine, and you guys know that I talk about them all the time.
It's gorgeous.
Not just here, but
Right.
I wear them for. I use crystals not just for their beauty, and they're really beautiful, but they also have healing properties. So I've been suffering, for the last couple of weeks with the sciatica nerve. So I've been wearing a carnelian crystal in my bra, and also with the black tourmaline, because the carnelian is for the sacral chakra, and the black tourmaline is for the root chakra. So because that's where the pain is.
So how are you feeling? It looks like you've been moving around better today.
I was running down the hall. I didn't even think about it until just now when I realized that I am feeling better. Actually, the black tourmaline fell out of my bra. So that means I don't need it anymore.
I see. Okay, so you put it somewhere else.
So I put it back, but I think I probably shouldn't have put it back. But definitely, I'm wearing the carnelian, and I will keep wearing it until I don't need it anymore. And guys, when I recommend a crystal for you, it's not just to put on your dresser and look pretty. Wear them. If you can have it put into one of the cages that you can get, and put it inside the little cages and wear it on as a necklace. That is great. If you don't have that, keep it in your pocket. If you're a guy, if you're a woman, just close to your heart is probably the best. And that's why I wear it in the bra.
Okay.
Because it's like there's pockets in there. You can put things in there.
I love that. Now I'm learning something new. I love it.
So for the folks that have plants, house plants, you may have gotten flowers for Valentine's Day. So what I'm going to teach you guys today about crystals is how to revive the plants that may not be doing so well.
Wow.
With crystals or the plants. As soon as you cut flowers, they start to lose their life force. So the quartz crystal is one of the ways you can help them keep their life force a little longer by putting it in the vase. So we're going to talk about, first let's talk about the green tourmaline. And I'm just going to hold this up right here. It's kind of a light green and has little specks in it. And it looks a lot like jade and light jade, but it's actually green tourmaline. And green tourmaline comes in different colors, but you want to get the green one because you think green and plants, and the green tourmaline is a good growth stone, and it's a good stone to use for the heart chakra. So if it's a good growth stone, then it must be an amazing stone to use in plants. So I'm just going to put my little spectacles on here, as one of my friends call it, my denials.
I can't imagine why they would say that.
So some of the facts about green tourmaline is they're shiny, opaque, and it's a long or octagon stone, and they're readily available, so you don't have to search high and low for them like some of the exotic stones that people call me for. People call me for all kinds of stones. I'm like, I've never even heard of that, and I really know crystals. But the green tourmaline, you can find it in crystal shops. Mystical Sense has them. I have green tourmaline as well. They're wonderful healers, and they bring balance, and they aid in growth. So they're also known as verdolite, and it's associated with the heart chakra or the love center. And it's a renowned healing stone, as I said before, and it's associated with Venus and the element of earth. So Venus and the element of earth, that means it's an amazing stone for Taurians or anyone, or Virgos, or earth signs, anyone who's ruled by the planet Earth or by the planet Venus, and who's a earth sign. So I guess that would be Virgo, Taurus, and who's the other earth sign? Capricorn, I believe it is. This crystal also represents fertility, which is why you can use it to revive your houseplants and encourage their healthy growth. Houseplants are wonderful energizers in the living room as they lift the atmosphere and help to increase the oxygen content. And many of them improve humidity, they filter the air, and they cleanse out pollutants such as formaldehyde, which is often present in new carpets and even in new furniture. So having a lot of plants around your house, not only for beauty, but they also have a health benefit for you. So if you have any houseplants that are not growing well, they look sickly, or it's essential for you to give them some care and to help them thrive again, keep the ambiance positive. So my husband was a friar in the kitchen. I have this plant in my kitchen, in the kitchen window, and the leaves just started to look yellow, and I felt it, and they had like this film on it, like a fungus. So I just took the leaves, and I just started to rinse it under the water and just get all the goo off of it. And I put some of the green tourmaline on it, and then it just spruced right back up. If you have a plant or several that need some love and attention, remove any dead leaves from the flowers and trim them back. Trim back all the dead stalks. Just take them out of there. Now take, and that's a really good feng shui tip, guys. If you're into feng shui, then you already know this. You never want to have any dead plants around. Even worse than dead plants are the plastic ones.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I have some. Get rid of them, huh?
I say get rid of them because they, there's no chi flowing through them. They collect dust, which is stagnant energy. So replace them with some plants that are easy to grow.
Okay.
Easy to grow, so you get that life force that's in your house. You're also getting the oxygen. It takes in the carbon dioxide and gives you oxygen, and it's cleaning out the pollutants, and it's also a good form of chi in your house to have it there.
All right, so I'll make some changes
and just pull out the dead stuff.
Now, you were talking about tourmaline. How many tourmalines should we have in our lives? Because you've got, if you want to have them with your plants, if you want to have them some places in your home, and then carry some, how do you manage all of that?
You can have as many tourmalines as you want.
Right, but where do you get them, and how much is that going to be kind of expensive?
Okay.
Like, what
No,
happens?
not really. These are, if you buy them in bulk, you can probably get a bag of the probably the quarter size or nickel size tourmalines for maybe $20 a bag, and there'll be 75 in there.
Okay, that's plenty.
Okay, and for your house plants. So you'll want to buy these in bulk. You won't want to go and get them at at a store where they're $1 or $2 each. So when your plant is healthy, you can take it out. Okay. But it's just like for ailing plants, it's a really good cure to put it in there. And you could keep them by your bedside. I mean, if you have a cluster of crystals in your house, I actually have them on a water fountain that's right at the head of my healing table. And with the water fountain, I just put different crystals in there, so it's like a cluster of crystals. So just like in your chakras, they're all different colors of the rainbow. So the vibrational quality of that, the people that are there in my healing studio, they get all of that. That's with the water running through it.
Okay, that's really
so you
very
can't
cool.
have too many. It's not going to hurt.
Okay, but I think what you're saying is to buy them in bulk, which makes sense.
If you want to use them, if you want to use lots of them, buy them in bulk, or you can get the flat ones. These are the ones that I use for healing, and there's palm size ones. But for your plants, the little round, the pebble kind, the ones, those are what you want to use, and just kind of sprinkle.
You share it with a bag with a friend.
Yeah, you share a bag with a friend. Okay, so if you're not able to find the green tourmaline, you can also use a natural quartz, which is what Kim and I have. Yeah. These quartz crystals, because we know these are amplifiers. They're amazing amplifiers. You can use green aventurine, which looks very, very similar to the tourmaline, and you can also use turquoise. It helps plants to recover from disease and infestation. That's what turquoise does. The natural quartz is an energizer and increases growth and expansion. And the aventurine is a balancing stone that can regulate growth.
Okay, so let me ask you something. I have some plants outside. You put them outside as well?
You could put them outside, because remember, they're from the earth.
Right, they're natural.
They're natural. So the worst thing that can happen to them is that they will fade.
Okay.
They will fade. Like I wouldn't leave. The green tourmaline is fine. Just put it out there in your garden. They might fade, and they may over time lose some of their vibrational qualities, but it's not going to. But that will take some time for that. The darker or more opaque the stone, the better it is for outside. Okay. Lighter stones like rose quartz or amethyst, the lighter color amethyst and things like that, don't do so well in the sun. They will fade. Okay. But having them out there is still beneficial to the plants.
Now, you said about gathering crystals together, and I haven't really done that. Are there some crystals that are better together than others, or is it the purpose, the intention?
The purpose and the intention. Now, I like to do crystal clusters on a bed of selenite. Because selenite is a natural cleanser. So this is one of the things that I do in my studio after I cleanse the crystals after each healing, and I just pile them together on a big selenite, because I know they're being cleansed.
Okay.
And the selenite absorbs energies or negative energies and transmutes them. So if you have a big, I would say go from big, like if you have whatever your biggest crystal is, like an amethyst, if you have a big geode, and you can just start putting other crystals around it, they actually look beautiful. It's like art, actually. All
but
the
I just
different
wasn't
colors.
sure. Okay.
Yeah. And then just make sure you have something like black tourmaline, citrine, or selenite. And those stones never need to be cleansed, and they cleanse other stones.
Okay.
So if your stones are absorbing things out of the environment, like by your television, or by in your bedroom, you always want to keep that a harmonious place. Then crystal clusters are perfect for those kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
Okay. So the last thing, crystals that we're going to talk about are, we're going to talk about what you do for cut plants or for cut flowers. So for you people who are fortunate enough to have flowers from Valentine's Day, you want to keep them as long as possible, as long as you can. And don't forget that Mother's Day is coming up, and these are tricks that you can use all year long for the times where you're getting those flowers, and you want to keep them not just for a couple of days, but maybe for a couple of weeks.
Right.
Huh? Okay. So prolonging them, you can use just like the green tourmaline will work in these as well. You can also use quartz crystal. So a smoky quartz is it's kind of a grayish hue. It can be like a very light gray to a darker gray, but it's always going to be kind of translucent. It's not going to be opaque or solid like a black tourmaline. So just remember that it's a quartz, and you can see through it, kind of like the pink quartz too. So it's a natural energizer, and it also purifies water. So remember that.
Oh.
So if anything you want purified water for, just throw some quartz crystals in there, and you got purified water. Wow. And it will prolong the life of your cut flowers, which, like we said, it soon loses their life force. So a potted plant is going to live on and on and on as long as you care for it, because that life force is still there through the root system. When that root system is gone, the life force energy starts to fade. So use the crystals with a plant or a terminated end. And if you could see this, and you see how it's pointed at the top, that's called a terminated crystal. And you can show yours too.
Yeah. Mine's also pointed.
Yeah. So these are pointed or terminated crystals are used for a lot of things. When I use them in healing, I can bring in the energy by pointing it down to a chakra, or I can bring it in this way. If I want to direct energy away from something, you just point it away from whatever you want to direct the energy from.
But someone has created this point.
Yes.
It's not natural.
Yes,
okay.
They created them.
Which is beautiful.
And use.
I love it.
So if you sit these around in your house, so they're always bringing in the energy. They're going to be bringing in energy. So they're very great if you are doing another type of crystal cluster for healing or to send love to someone. You can, if you sit it down like Kim's will sit up, and you put some other crystals around it, say the rose quartz crystal around it, what you're doing is you're amplifying the vibrational qualities of the other crystals around it.
I did not know that.
Sending it out there.
I did not. I love that. Now I'm really going to think about that.
So say if there's someone who you want to send love to or send healing to, write their name on a piece of paper, put it under that terminated quartz, sit it under there, and just put some green stones around it for healing or pink around it for love. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But that's another way to really take care of people.
It is.
And for caregivers, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
We've got to definitely include this in our workshop.
Yes.
People don't know about this, and it's so portable. That's the thing. I want my caregivers to know how to take care of themselves throughout the day. Now, when you say put this in your house, where in the house does it need to go?
Anywhere.
I could go at the front entrance. Is that okay with the feng
actually,
shui?
there's some other things for the front entrance things, and there's some other things. But remember that when you're using a quartz crystal like this, a clear quartz crystal, this one really, its main purpose is to purify and to amplify. So whatever's energy that it's near is going to amplify it. So you want to be cognizant of that. So if you're putting it in a room where there's a lot of turmoil and things like that, it's probably not a good place for a quartz crystal. It's probably a good place for something like a black tourmaline or a onyx or deep stone or selenite, something that absorbs negative energy.
See. Okay.
Okay. So that's what you want in a stone where there's a lot of activity. For a hallway or an entranceway in your house, something like hematite will be great for that, because hematite is a very grounding stone, is a very protective stone, and it also absorbs negative energy. So if somebody comes to your house, it's going to protect whatever comes into your house, basically.
Okay, that's what we want.
It's going to transmute the intention of whatever comes into your house.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you something.
Yes.
Do you have it also outside to protect the outside so nothing goes inside?
I would put it under the rug.
Okay. The welcome mat or something?
Under the welcome mat. I put it, like at my house, I have a mat outside and inside the door. I have a mat outside the door, and inside there's a rug, and the entryway. I have stuff under those. So if you guys come to my house, if you look under my rug,
I have to be
it's
careful.
Like, oh my God, what does she have under there?
Crunchy.
Like, well, they're flat. I
okay.
have some feng shui stuff under there. For. Okay, we're just diverging into
right. I'm so sorry. Maybe
into feng shui, but if you put the coins, the feng shui money coins under the rug or in a red envelope. Red is a very auspicious color for feng shui, and it also is a color that attracts money. So I have some coins in a red envelope under my rug. That's one of the things.
I'm going to have to do this. I didn't know this either. This is great.
And what it does is attracts abundance.
Okay, well, we want that.
It's saying abundance is welcome in this house.
Yeah.
We all want that.
Yeah, and we're going to have it at our workshop. Have red. Now I know it's going to be on the table.
And so, okay. So I'm going to finish up the one part, because I'm just anxious to get Kim on, because this is great.
Yeah.
So what you do with the terminated quartz crystal, they don't have to be this big, because you can get really small ones. I actually have small ones here at Quintessence. You just drop them into, just for a regular vase of flowers, the cut flowers, just drop it into the water with the intention that it's there to prolong the life force of the flowers. Now, if you have a big floral arrangement, you want to put 2 or 3 of them in there and have them pointed in. Just take a little, stick if you can, or a fork or something, and stick it down there and have them pointed in toward the roots, because they're bringing in energy to the plants and to the stems where they were cut. Don't forget to, you can still cut a 1/2 inch off the stems, and that also prolongs them. I know people say put aspirin and things in there, but I'm telling you, this is going to work. Aspirin will work, but this will work a lot better, using the quartz. I also brought the wand. This is actually a selenite wand. You see, it's they call it a wand because you can do things like that with it, but it has a point on the end, and this side is rounded. So you can actually, if you have it in any kind of quartz, smoky quartz and a clear quartz or selenite will work best. You can actually put this in there, or you can actually do this circle. And the people who've seen me do demonstrations on removing energy or doing chakra balancing, like if a chakra has a hard time balancing, sometime I will take my selenite wand and I will do a counterclockwise motion on the chakra, and you'll see me pulling out like this. Now, I've had people that are clairvoyant that can actually see energy say they can see the swirls. They said it's like a mist. So I know it's working. I know it works because I can feel the difference energetically over the chakra. So just think about doing that with your plants. If you have these wands, or you can get them, you can order these. I can order them for you if you're interested. After you do remove whatever the negativity is, Plants are not going to have that unless they've been sitting into a place where there was an argument or a fight or something like that. But what you want to do is you're going to do a clockwise motion over the plants, over the flowers. And what you're doing is you're just bringing in the life force energy to them. Or you can just have it right over the plants, over the flowers. And just with intent, just bring in that energy from source to them. And do that every day. And it's just a treatment for them.
I've never seen that before. Can I hold this?
Yes, you can.
Oh, this is cool. Okay.
And so they have.
So this is also a stone.
Yeah, selenite.
Okay.
Remember I was talking about like a selenite when I'm done after healing, I have a selenite that's about that big around. I don't know. It's bigger than an egg, I would say, and it's egg shaped. So I put my watch on it. You can put, and it's important because metal is a big conductor of energy. That's why they use them in wires. I mean, that's why they use them in all of our electrical wiring and things like that. They're big conductors of energy. So our necklaces and all of our jewelry, sitting them by a selenite crystal or a black tourmaline or a citrine, just to rid them of energies that are not yours, that they may have picked up during the day, is a really good thing to do. And so today I just wanted to tell you guys that the crystals are not just for us. Incorporate them into your everyday life. Use them around your house. You can wear them on your bodies or put them out for beauty. But if you actually know the properties of them and what they can do, you use them just like every day.
Yeah.
Just incorporate them into your life and love them, and they will love you back, and they will, give you the energy and the vibrational qualities that you need. It also helps you raise your own vibration by using them too.
That's great. Okay, well, I learned a lot.
Okay, so it is time to go ahead and talk to my good friend Kim here. Remember, if you guys want to call in, the number is 813-639-TALK. 813-639-TALK. That's 8255. Okay. You ready to get started?
Yes, I'm ready to continue. You've started us off beautifully.
Okay. So, Kim Linder, I could just say, tell me about yourself.
Is that what you want to do?
Okay. Tell me about yourself.
Okay. So I'll tell you and your followers, your listeners, about who I am and what I do.
Okay.
I've lived in Florida for over 15 years, and I have a family. But my passion is really working with family and professional caregivers, because that's my background. I've been working in the professional healthcare industry for over 15 years, and I was also a family caregiver for my in-laws, Sylvia and Hobie Luther. Having all of this information and experience, I decided to create a business focused just on caregivers, and it's a niche. So I work with people who are seniors, people who are, it's intergenerational now. So I work with people who are in their 40s and 30s, all the way up to people in their 80s. So it's wide, because caregiving is universal, and it's either you are one, you have been one, or you will be. So
that's right.
We all have, and it can come and go. It doesn't mean that you're a caregiver forever. I happen to be a teenage caregiver for my mother, and I did not know it until probably just a few years ago, when it dawned on me that I was caring for her, because it was very subtle, the caring that I was doing. But
was she sick at the time?
My mother was an alcoholic, actually.
Okay.
And any adult child of an alcoholic knows all the work that you do.
It's caring.
But I didn't know it. And so she did die of alcoholism when I was 17. So she died when I was very young. And I really just kind of went on with my life and didn't realize that I was a caregiver. And it's really given me some real compassion for people who are teenagers who are now taking care of their parents.
That's interesting, because I know I've never thought of a teenage caregiver.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've never reached out to that segment. of
Right.
the population as a, to speak to them on caregiving. I never thought of it that
Well,
way. So
yeah. So, so I surprised you with something today.
you did.
I'm glad.
Yes.
So we're learning from each other.
Yes,
It's very
yes.
exciting.
Uh-huh.
Because in my profession has always been working with seniors and
Mm-hmm.
with the family members. So it's just really expanded over the last
Mm-hmm.
5 years. So I've been really crafting, fine tuning my craft of caregiving. So I do caregiver coaching.
Uh-huh.
And I do retreats and workshops like we're doing. And then the last 2 years, I've done a symposium. It's an all-day symposium in the Tampa Bay area for professional and family caregivers. And I have a national keynote speaker, and I have the other types of media that come. And we've had over 400 people come and be a part of this. So it's really exciting.
Well, Kim, one of the things about you that I love is that you don't just talk caregiving, you have a different approach to caregiving. Tell us about that.
Thank you. I do. My whole approach is about the mind, body, spirit connection and helping caregivers really be intentional about their caregiving.
Okay.
Be conscious about their caregiving, meaning we have a tendency as caregivers, as family caregivers especially, to be on automatic. We just want to care for the other person. We don't care what it takes. We feel guilty, we feel compelled, we feel passion for the other person. And what happens is we end up falling under the guise of really draining ourselves to such a point that we burn out.
Yes, I know. And I know.
Yes.
And you guys know me that, I have a daughter with autism.
Right.
So I've been
You
there.
get it.
I'm there every 6 months, actually.
Well, that's why we probably met for a
Yes.
reason, is that now I've
Yes.
become your friend to kind
Yes.
of pull you and say, you know what, maybe we just need to take a little time to
Yes.
just kind of take care of you a bit, Dee Dee, so that you're creating balance in your life.
Yes.
Because my whole show on the radio is about helping caregivers, empowering them to create balance in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that until you recognize that you're running on empty.
Yes.
So when we talk about these crystals, or we talk about
Mm-hmm.
other ways of helping us create the balance, the messages we say to ourselves, instead of saying something negative like, oh, I should have been at my mother's house another time this week. Maybe it's, you know what, I did the best that I could, and maybe there's someone else who can come and watch over my mother for that hour that I was going to be there.
Right.
So it's really kind of looking at things more openly rather than always so in a narrow path. I'm
Right.
asking people to be more expansive in their
Yes.
thinking.
Yeah. And asking for help.
And asking for help
to create that balance.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I was caring for my mother-in-law, I was the one who was running over when really I could have asked someone else, but didn't.
Now, how did you incorporate, or how did you even know to incorporate the holistic types of things with
Okay.
the type of work you're doing?
The parent company is called Senior Holistic Living because I'd always worked with seniors and I always believed in a holistic approach. And my husband and I, we also were in publishing together, and we published a magazine called Holistic Living over 20 years ago.
Okay.
So that's kind of always been a part of my philosophy of how to look at people, not just myself, but how do I look at people in a holistic, in a whole person kind of way. How are they spiritually? How are they physically, emotionally, psychologically, medically, like all the different physical? How are we all as who we are? And I decided to integrate that holistic approach into my caregiving profession. Because
really important, so important. I can't even tell you. It makes me want to cry.
Really?
because it's so important. I mean, that's how I got into this type of business anyway. Because I was,
Yes.
I had my child, and
Right.
and as a military service member, I had no one. Husband's deployed, and it's just me. So finding these alternative ways to take care of not just my daughter but myself. And now, you are just what I needed 20 years ago. So I'm so grateful that someone like you is doing this now for other people, because I didn't have it then. I had to figure it out myself.
Right.
Now they can just go to your website, which is
thecaregiverhour.com, and they can, there's all the information about what I do and who I do it for and how often I am. doing things, because I'm doing things all the time to reach out to professional and family caregivers, because professional caregivers also have a tendency to take care of other people in their profession, whether it's in a hospital, nursing home, assisted living, home care, geriatric care managers, elder law attorneys. They just keep giving and they forget that they also need to take care of themselves. So I kind of do a gentle reminder with that as well.
So what kind of tips or things that you tell them, or what kind of guests do you have on your show?
I have a lot of different experts on my show because I always want to give information, resources, and guidance. And some people just really need the basics. They want to know, why do I need those legal documents? Why are they so important? And how do I use them? Okay, I have them, but how do I use them? And then we also talk about maybe how to approach your family to let them know who's in those legal documents, like having a conversation about it, not just doing it, going off to the elder law attorney and not talking to your family to let them know what your wishes are.
Yes.
So that's important. I also have people on who help with breathing. We've done meditation on the show and breathing so that people learn how to kind of help balance themselves, connect to themselves before maybe they go see another client. Say it's a nurse who's doing an assessment at someone's home for home care. Why not that nurse take care of herself before she even enters into that home?
Yes.
Because if she's seeing one person, she might be seeing 4 others, and it would be nice for her to make that separation of, I did the best job I could for this person, I'm sending them love and light, and now I'm taking care of myself before I go on to the next client. Also, we've had people on to talk about compassion, not just having compassion for the other person who we care for, but also having some self-compassion. And that helps us feel less judgmental about ourselves and less pushing ourselves, that it's just, we've got to keep pushing, instead of saying, you know what, I need to take a nap right now. You know, I'm glad that my mother's doing well, or my husband's doing well. Right now, they're taken care of. I need to take care of myself. What does that mean? What does that look like holistically for myself? Maybe I need to go to one of your courses to learn about the crystals or about the Reiki healing. Maybe I just need to take a nap, or maybe I need to go out with a friend, maybe do something more social. So it's really looking at really who you are and how you want to be as a caregiver. It's a journey.
It is. And I'm so glad you're saying you're hitting all the buzzwords. I'm not surprised, because this is your business, and you totally get it. And if you are someone that is caring for someone else, or who has ever cared for someone else, and you said if you're not now, that you will be.
Right.
If so taking that time for yourself, sometimes what do you tell the people who feel guilty about taking time for themselves?
That's a tough one, because guilt is so strong and it's so negative. So maybe they want to grab one of the stones that you would recommend, which would be
for guilt, or letting go,
or anything negative.
A rose quartz.
Okay.
So a rose quartz for letting go, definitely.
Okay. So they would hold that rose quartz either in the bra or the pocket, like you said, but also in their hand if they want to. And then maybe quietly do a meditation about, is there any way I can release this feeling of guilt? Instead of saying I should release it, just ask yourself, is there any way I could? And maybe just by that intention of holding something physical, and then also setting that intention and closing your eyes, you can maybe have your breathing start to relax a bit, and your shoulders could also relax, and then your whole face and your whole body, and listen to the whisper of, yes, you can feel more about being grateful rather than guilty. And gratitude, which you and I have talked about, really is a very powerful shift of, I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to see my mother today, but I'm also grateful that I'm able to take some time off and not feel guilty about it, even if it's for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yes.
Because caregiving, it's like we just are so on automatic, and the guilt is what drives us so often. And if we can just be somewhat compassionate for ourselves and do the breathing and hold a rose quartz or something that's meaningful to you, that will allow you to breathe and be able to be kind to yourself and feel less guilty for at least 5 minutes, because 5 minutes could then become 7, 10,
That's
15, and then you can go and do something. Because this is the holistic part about it, Dee Dee, is that then when you go to see your mother, you're not feeling resentful, you're feeling joyful.
That's right.
And that's what I mean about how we want to conduct ourselves as caregivers.
Right. I totally understand it. The crystals really help with that. And the great thing about crystals is that you can get them in different forms. A rose quartz, and they call them worry stones, which I don't like that term, the worry stones, but they're the flat ones like that. It's, that you can.
Right. And that one even has something written on it, which I love. So that reminds the person who's holding. Do you mind? Can I hold this?
Yes, you can.
So that person
What
could
does
be
it say,
holding
Kim?
abundance, which this is my year of abundance. So I've got to get those red stones underneath my carpet. So this could be about compassion. It could be on there. So there could be a stone that really resonates with you that will help you feel less guilty and more calm and confident about what you're doing.
Here's the thing about guilt. It has no place in our lives, really. No. It doesn't. Guilt doesn't serve us. It keeps us trapped.
Yes. And dark and stuck. Yeah. That's what I think. It's like muddy.
Yeah. The word is just not. So let's think of a good word to replace guilt with.
Because let's just read it out for a second, because caregivers relate to the word guilty so well. Is when you go to see the loved one, where you're calling them because, I should have called again today, or I should have called in that medication. There's like a harshness about it. There's a lack in it. Yes, you're performing a task that needs to be checked off, but it would be so nice if you could be doing it in a more joyful way. That's what we're saying.
Compassion.
Right.
Also, citrines are good for compassion.
Okay.
As well. So just having those with you. I think turning guilt into compassion is, and think of it that way, because compassion comes from a more loving thing.
Yes.
And the word have, H-A-V-E, when you have to do something, gives it a negative connotation as well.
Well, it's a certain intensity too.
Yeah. It's like, I have to do this, or instead of saying, I do this out of love and compassion, is a very different, I have to do this or I'll feel guilty.
When you said that, I could feel it all in my stomach. Because
that's where the citrine is for the solar plexus.
So you just taught me something else new. Yeah. That's where the guilt is. It starts at the heart and it comes right to that stomach because, I bet I have to make that happen.
Yep. That's where you're holding it, right there in the solar plexus, and that's why it's citrine. Okay. And you remember, guys, these chakras work together. So if you are holding and harboring something, it's gonna affect actually 3 different chakras. It's gonna affect your throat chakra, because that's where your communication is. So you're not really saying and communicating what you really feel. You're holding it in, and where's it gonna go? You're holding it in your heart, and it starts to affect you in your solar plexus. So those 3 things, and I see it all the time when I'm doing healing and clearing the chakras. Those 3 things, if it's something that has affected them in some way or something they're holding on to, if it's guilt or some kind of, it could be guilt or shame or hurt, often there is. And this is why a rose quartz is so amazing for this, because rose quartz is for forgiveness, is for grieving, is for love, unconditional love of all kinds, for self-love and for love for others. And that's what the rose quartz do. It helps break down those walls, and it helps let the compassion come in. And having the citrine along with that heals the solar plex chakra. And that's where we hold our courage, and it's also where we hold our fear and anxiety. And so healing that with the citrine helps let go of that anxiety and that fear, and lets courage and compassion come in.
So if someone wanted to purchase some stones, and I'm talking about my listeners as well, how do they, can they go to your website, or what's the best way for them to be in touch with you? Because you're really a great resource for us.
Sure. 813-367-7385 is my phone number. And you can call, and I do spiritual counseling as well. If there's something in particular, I'm an interfaith minister, so if there's something in particular that you want to talk about, then I can help you with those things. And it's just not talking about it, then I can help you with a way to get through it. And I think Kim and I together with her resources and thinking about what you do as a holistic point of view. And then I'm providing you with some cures that can help. You can also go to my website. It's www.oilsandstones.com, oilsandstones.com. And I do have a lot of items on my website in the online store. If you don't see them there, then just call me, because I don't always get to update the site, but I do have products in my studio that I don't have on the website, and vice versa. So whatever you need, if you have some needs like that, just call me and I'll be able to help you. DEE@oilsandstones.com is my email address as well.
Okay, and if for some reason someone couldn't get to Dee, you can just email Kim@thecaregiverhour.com, and I'll make that connection. But everyone really needs to come to the workshop, don't you think?
They do. Let's talk about that.
Okay, that would be great.
If you guys wanted to call in and talk to me or Kim, you can call in at 813-639-TALK, 813-639-TALK. If you missed the show or you have to run out or something, you can catch the show later on today. And please tell people, if they missed the show and there's something valuable here that you think they may need, please direct them to the website. It's spiritpioneers.com, and then just click on Spiritually Speaking. So now we're going to talk about the website. We're going to talk about... I'm doing it again, aren't I? Kim and I were trying to make this video about this workshop, and I kept saying website. So we're going to talk about the workshop right now. Mm-hmm. So Kim, why don't you start?
Okay. I am just ecstatically excited.
She's going to explain it better to me, too.
I don't know about that, but I just feel like, again, I'm really in alignment with what I'm supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
And meeting you and putting together these workshops is just sensational. And I'm so excited to be bringing it to caregivers from all over the Tampa Bay area. So what we've decided to do is start them in Tampa. So even if you live maybe in Pinellas County or Lakeland, somewhere else, you want to come to this, because this is really special. We're starting to do an event called the Creating Your Own Abundance for Caregivers. And it's going to be on, Dee had mentioned the dates, Fridays, March 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and the 29th. And it's from 12 noon to 1:30 at Brunchies at 14366 North Dale Mabry Highway. And that's next to Abby's Health and Nutrition. Let me tell you some of the classes that we're doing. So for that hour and a half, you will be able to do some networking with people you've never met before, which I think is so exciting. And then you also, and this is for my professional and family caregivers who really have been to my symposiums, retreats, and are our listeners. And then we are going to have you can eat if you would like, so you have that option, because we've got a private room at Brunchies. And then we also have going to be doing we have sponsors, so we have a sponsor, so we're going to have the sponsors speak, and then we're also going to be talking about the topic, and we have 5 different topics and one for each week. And then we'll do an activity, so it's going to be interactive. It's not going to be just you sitting and listening.
That's the fun part. I love that. I love the activities.
That's going to be very creative and different. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be doing, what is the topic? You're going to be describing that, and then we're also going to be doing a meditation to top it off. It's like phenomenal.
And I do want to say that on the second week, we're going to be talking about chakras. You heard us talking about chakras all today, and some of you may be wondering what they are. We're going to go into that in detail on what chakras are. And one of our sponsors, Judith Rose, is going to be there, and is going to teach everyone how to do a chakra connection. It's something that caregivers is going to be invaluable to you, something that you can do to help keep your energy level and your vibrations high. And she does this thing with tuning forks that she's going to come in and do a demonstration on.
It's going to be great.
Kim has volunteered to do that. And then there's this great meditation that we're going to do to help balance the chakras, and then I'm going to send you guys home with it.
That's great, because abundance really is, I've kind of made it my goal, which now I'm sharing it with other people, because instead of feeling like you don't have, we want you to feel like you have and more and more, and how to attract more of what you want.
Yes.
And for caregivers, that's so important because, again, it's another way to recharge yourself, to replenish yourself, and be nurturing to yourself so that you can give the best to the person that you're caring for.
It's like the oxygen mask, right?
Yeah.
You have to give to yourself first before you can give to others. You can't give what you don't have.
So do we have time to go over the different topics? Because I'm not sure what our timetable is.
But before we do that, I want everybody to know how to contact you. Can you give them your info?
Yes. So you can call me at 727-798-2663. You can email me at kim@thecaregiverhour.com, and that's kim@TheCaregiverHour.com. And our website is thecaregiverhour.com. So we're very excited, and we're looking forward to having everyone be a part of this event.
We are. Okay, so we do have a few minutes left, so why don't we just go and talk about what we got.
We'll do that, and then we also want to talk about the price. And we did set this up for 5 weeks, but some people have asked if they can just come to one. So we're doing that as well. We're being flexible.
Yes.
So the week 1 is about creating an inner sacred space to turn your dreams into reality. And do you want to talk about that a little more?
Right. We're going to go into what a sacred space is, and we're going to pretty much tell you how to create one through meditation. And if you wanted a place in your home
or office,
in your office, how to just carve out that little space that's just yours to do your spiritual work and recharge your battery.
That's great. Mm-hmm. The week 2 is the chakra clearing, letting go of any negative energy.
Yes.
And then week 3 is gratitude, the heart of attracting your own abundance.
So important.
Right.
So important. Learning to love what you already have and attracting and bring whatever you put out in the universe, you bring back to you. And we're so excited to talk about that.
And then being worthy and deserving of manifesting your desires. That's really big.
I think this is a hard one for caregivers.
Yes.
You know?
Because so often we just feel like we don't deserve. We just need to give.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we should include in there is letting go of that guilt in this part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
We do need to do that, because when you let go of that guilt, you start to go, okay, I have compassion for people, and you know what? I have compassion for myself. I'm worthy. I'm God's child, and I'm worthy of love. He loves me, or she loves me, or it loves me, whatever you guys call it. And I'm worthy of God's love.
So that's going to be perfect.
And worthy of God's abundance.
Yes. And then transforming scarcity to prosperity. That's the one. That's a hot one for me.
It is, because many people think that there's only a certain amount of wealth in the world, and you have to be born into it or inherit it from someplace, or you got to work so hard and have this brilliant idea. You don't.
Right.
You know, and there's enough of abundance or prosperity around to go. And what's my favorite word? There's enough for everybody, including me and including you.
So that's beautiful. So that's $75. So it's $15 per session with the option to have lunch. And then we also have the option, if you want to just do a single class, that'll be $35. And so you can go to, if you would like to pay, we would like for you to do that by credit card. You can do by check, so either one. And you go to this wonderful website we created called workshopsforabundance.com. And if you wanted to mail the check, you can just email me, kim@thecaregiverhour.com, and I'll give you the information on how to do that. But we do have a flyer up on my website, thecaregiverhour.com, so you can download that, and it gives you where to send the check or more information. And then, Dee, what about the other website?
On oilsandstones.com, right on the front page, you can just click on the logo there, and it'll take you right to the Workshops for Abundance webpage. So all the information, we're just touching on some of the information. All the information that you need is going to be right there on the website. So you can sign up, or you can call us and say hi if you have any questions about it. A couple of things that we're trying to do, and this is some exciting things. We're going to try and do a live stream and a recording. And here at the studio, we're going to try to get the TalkWatt network to come out and record this for us, so you guys can, for anyone who cannot get away, you can pay to view it live or come back to it when you have time. And also the other thing is, we were doing this. Okay. So the two fingers just threw me off.
Okay, I'm so sorry because I got the sign and I was giving you the sign. All right, so it's going to be live, and then it's going to be recorded so people can download it at their convenience for a fee.
The other thing is, Kim is working on some respite care, right?
Yes. So here I have a family caregiver that saw the flyer and contacted me about bringing her husband to the event. And we're talking, now this is where I kind of put on my hat, my caregiver coaching hat, and just try to encourage her to have this workshop for her and to do respite, have care for her husband, probably right at the restaurant as well.
That would be great.
So that, she's close by or he's close by. But to have some, one of our sponsors, Arcadia, has put together a special package for her. So I just want to let you know, just shoot us your questions because we'll take care of you.
And as we get more of this information, we're going to put it on the website. It's workshopsforabundance.com. And we're just about out of time, so we're going to just give you our contact information again. I'm Dee Dee Lovejoy at Quintessence Aromatherapy and Crystal Healing, and you can contact me at oilsandstones.com or call me at 813-367-7385. And our workshop is Workshops for Abundance, or workshopforabundance.com, and it's about creating your own abundance for caregivers. And Kim, how do we get in contact with you?
You can email me at kim@thecaregiverhour.com.
Okay, and that about wraps it up for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we really appreciate you. Have an abundant field day. Want a joyous, fulfilling life? Do what the fulfilled do. Be grateful for the things you have. Give freely from your heart. Be of service to others. Leave ego behind and let spirit fearlessly guide you to your highest and best self. And most of all, choose it for yourself and believe that you already have it. Thank you for tuning in to Spiritually Speaking. We'll see you next week. Namaste. To learn more about Dee Dee Lovejoy, tune into www.oilsandstones.com.
The West Central coast of Florida has an amazing music scene. Festivals, clubs, special performances, and there's always a lot of live music. The problem has always been getting the word out about events. Then GoTonight.com emerged on the scene. The brainstorm creation of founder Don McKeon, a Sarasota entrepreneur. We caught up with Don and his inspirational friend, Frank Papa, at the Flying Dog Cafe.
This is Frank. I'm Don. Frank is the reason that there is a GoTonight.com. He would call me repeatedly.
Where are we going? Where do you want to go? Where will we go tonight?
The website has been a boon to many small clubs. So next time you find yourself asking, where will we go tonight? You've got the answer.
Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.